Welcome back to Metal Heroes Review, episode 123. We're here reviewing episodes 9 and 10 for Janperson. Yep, so, in the case episode 9, it's the return of Neil Guild, first time seeing him since episode 5 of the show. Yes. Since episode 5. As for the reason for this, not really sure exactly. No. So, yeah, they're back here, and their plan this time is to have a robot who, well, he has a human appearance, but apparently they don't know they're a robot until the very last minute. And Janperson easily figured this out just by scanning. For Bruce, basically, he saw as a bank robber. Also, apparently, George, the guy who's in charge of Neo Guild, apparently his back stopped smoking because that was a thing for his first two appearances. At the episode 4 and throughout the entire episode 5, his body was smoking for some reason. Not really sure why. It was kind of weird. Also, in case you're curious, though, why wasn't Neo Guild featured in episodes 6 to 8? Well, that's because 6 and 8 basically was Super Science Network, and episode number 7 was basically the finance company, another one of their people now. So they have this particular thing here. So they created this thing called a robot sleeper. Basically, robots who don't know they're people who don't know they're robots. They used to be humans. It only appears as one episode, and one of these people happened to be the son of this one particular pilot. And apparently there's a thing in this episode where apparently, like, I don't know if this is really true in real life, this ever happened, where apparently there's one uninhabited island in the Pacific. Apparently people put all the nuclear waste into an underground vault on the island. And apparently the plan was to have this pilot crash his plane to the thing, unleash much nuclear radiation planet. Reason? Because they're evil. That's why. And yeah, and of course Janperson is because, oh yeah, these people are robots because he scans them. And in fact, no one else does this at all. And so they do in fact deal with the robot here. The main robot of the story is, well, the evil robot is Falcon 13. Yes, that's his name. I love the whole human disguise thing that he has. Played by Shinzo Hota, who is, in fact, well, he played a few characters in this franchise. He played the human disguise for Hard Beast. He was in a few other ones besides this one. He appears one more time after this in the context of Metal Heroes. In the case of Sentai, he just appears in one episode of Sentai. Yeah, one. As the human form of, like, one of the monsters in episode 33. In the case of Kamen Rider. He pretty much was in, get this, he was General Monster from Sky Rider, and he was Togeron from the original series. Yes, back in the 70s. So he's currently 80 years old. Is he still alive? Oh yeah, he is still very much alive. And he is still active in acting. Yes, no reports that he has passed away. He just does these, like, a lot of times he just plays one-shot villains. Though, I do love the fact when he transforms, like, oh, we have this hand, and then he's destroyed by the... Now, by the way, they do, in fact, debut in episode 9, they debut a brand new weapon known as the Jan Vulcan, which apparently is a modified weapon from Windspectre. Yes, from Windspectre. My guess because they had it available, so they decided to modify it. And also the Jandotic. Or Zantique. Deke. What is that, you might ask? It keeps getting redirected. Yeah, but quite interesting episode. But it seems like purely random that they pick these names. It's not like these names are in order. No, not really. And afterwards, Neo Gil takes off for the next 2 episodes, but it's back for episode 12. Yes. But in the case of episode 10, it's like, ooh, we have the Gods of Fortune using this mallet that looks similar to one they use over in Ninjanger, where people sleep and they have happy dreams. So they do this while trying to rob people. Yeah, they do eventually stop them. Of course, we kind of already figured out, though, that, well, that Janperson is a robot, given the fact there's no human stuff underneath it. But, yeah, this is the first episode mentioned, oh yeah, he is in fact a robot. Which is kind of interesting. Also, apparently, Reiko is back in this episode. She's the leader of the Super Science Network. And she's treated like a goddess here, and I just keep looking at her, I'm like, wow, this woman is so stunning. Like, and can anybody deny the fact this woman looks really good for, at the time, for being 39? Yeah, believe it or not, the actress who plays her at the time, Siko Takanagi, she looks actually not that bad today. At the time when this came out, she was only 39 years old. And, well, this only is, like I mentioned in the first review, this is only like, I think it was in the second video I did, I think it was just the previous episode I did, where this only was the second ever male hero series that she's been in, I've seen. She's also been in basically 2 of the space, yeah, she apparently was in Wind Spectre and Exceed Draft. I'll discuss those some other time, just not right now. Yeah, and I don't know if anybody's ever put a picture on the Wiki page where she looked completely different in her debut episode. Oh yeah, she looked completely different. And kind of in a way, her head popped up in Big Bad Beetleborgs as a creature known as Borg Slayer. Yes, it was an original monster from that one. Yes. But time will tell, basically, well, how much... Well, thing is, also, one thing I really about these 2 episodes is that I know that the female reporter, she has officially been dropped from the series after appearing out of 5 out of the first 6 episodes. As for Kamari, he basically made his last appearance with episode 8. His partner is, well, he's going to make one more appearance in the show. And that's it. I still wonder why the heck they dropped these characters for. Yeah, it's like... Also, Janperson doesn't have a base, per se. Yeah, he has no base. It's just him and his car that, in these 2 episodes, doesn't... Well, I would say of the 2 episodes, like, does the part come off the fly? You probably think, does it happen in episode 9? Yes it does. In 10, no. But they're not bad episodes per se. I would say of the 3 organizations we have here, I like the eccentric president of the financial company. I think he's quite interesting. I think he works with fine. Neo Gil's interesting. I would say I like the leader of the Super Science Network. I'm not really necessarily a big fan of, like, For at this point we're 10 episodes in. Of the 1, 2, 3, about five things now. The first guy basically associated with her, who was just a guy turned a monster. He was okay. The scientist who turned him, he was kind of dumb. I would say the best villain so far, the best like original character that worked on the Super Science Network, was so fun. At this point, is Dr. Sonja. He is so fun. As for the Force Number people, they were okay. I didn't think they were terrible, but I'd say of all of those so far, he's the best one. But as for Neo Guild, well, he has technically not appeared in a lot of episodes. He's appeared like less than basically Renko has. I like Falcon 13 so far. Omega DX. I feel like this guy was a wasted potential. With this guy, it's like he does nothing the whole episode. And also, another thing about this series that I'm not really a big fan of, it takes a while for Janperson to show up, and he's the main character of the show, and it takes him to almost halfway through the episode for him to show up. It takes a while. Now, I don't know how the rest of the series is going to go. Now, as for how many more, let's say, episodes featuring these people, well, for the Financial Institute, well, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He has 8 more episodes that he has setting people up. Neo Guild has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, he has 11. As for the Super Science Network, Renko sets out, coming up, sets out some people out like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 8. For her, basically, it seems like for her stuff, it wraps up at episode 33. And she just appears. But we'll find out, basically, as time goes on, how much further with this one. It's kind of interesting with this one, where I still think it's kind of interesting, where this is the first Metal Hero series to have multiple factions in the same series. But here's the weird thing. No interaction. Despite the fact that 3 of the heads showed up in the same episode, but no interaction. It's like, yeah, it's like, oh, today it's Neo Science Guild, another day it's Super Science Network, and another day it's a financial company. And here's also something interesting, though, about this. So far, Janperson hasn't seen the heads of this organization. Like, I think he does know the name Renko. I think he finally heard that in episode 10. But does he? Now, by the way, he didn't know about the Super Science Network itself. He didn't name it until episode 7. But it seems like we're going at a bit of a kind of a slow-paced issue when it comes to plot development. But I do like the episodes. But if you ask me personally, of the first 10 episodes, which one's the best one? I would say I like the first couple episodes. I thought they were quite interesting. And that's so far. I would say after like episode 4, it becomes kind of interesting. Yes. But we will get more as time goes on. Yep. But yeah, that is pretty much it for today's video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications. So, next up we have is Anime Open Topics, and there's a bunch of news that came out recently. So I'll talk about it, okay? Next video.